Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Thank you for joining us for our very first episode on some inspiring Muslim figures throughout history. As I mentioned in the introduction video for this series, I won't be going in any particular order when discussing these women. But I decided to start off with a few examples from the life of the Prophet ﷺ, because many of these figures ultimately set the stage for centuries to come. And among the very first women that comes to mind is none other than the wife of the Prophet ﷺ and the daughter of the very first Khalifa, Aisha Bint Abu Bakr. There's a lot of historical information available on Aisha radiallahu anha, and even more we can talk about. But I want to particularly focus on two of her personal aspects: her scholarship and her confidence. It was narrated, for example, that if Aisha radiallahu anha ever heard of something she didn't already know, she would look into the matter until she was sure she knew it. The thought of not knowing a fact related to this religion was just not an option for her. So she would search for the truth and ensure that it was known by all. Personally, I love reading about the way Aisha radiallahu anha would stand up against falsehood. Later in her life, she became famous for voicing frequently her opinion on a lot of topics that eventually became controversial. Take, for example, the story of when the companion Masruq was asking Aisha radiallahu anha about the verses that describe the Prophet ﷺ's ascension to the heaven. He had heard the opinion that the Prophet ﷺ had directly seen God, but Aisha radiallahu anha declared otherwise. But before she even began to state her view and evidence, she stated, أنا أول هذه الأمة سأل عن ذلك النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. I am among the first of this ummah to have asked the Prophet about this matter. That's confidence. She knew what she was saying, and she was saying it with the proper knowledge. And after this introductory comment, then she began to proceed to explain to Masruq exactly what happened during the night of Al-Isra wal-Mi'raj and her opinion on the matter. And her opinion is actually one that is still held by many scholars today. There's so many more examples of incidents like this occurring where Aisha radiallahu anha corrects or teaches the companions on a particular topic or aspect of the religion. In fact, so much so that Badr ad-Din al-Zarakhsi went as far as compiling an entire book that collected the number of incidents in which Aisha radiallahu anha corrected various companions. And he includes every narration where she deferred from the scholars of the time or made ijtihad for a stronger opinion, or other acts in which she voiced a clear and unique opinion that was supported by evidence. Because of the authority she held as the wife of the Prophet ﷺ and as a scholar and a muhadditha in her own right, companions also turned to Aisha radiallahu anha in order to confirm the authenticity of prophetic hadith. It is narrated in Sahih Muslim that once the companion Dawood ibn Amr was sitting along with Khabbab bin Abdullah ibn Umar. And amidst their conversation, Ibn Amr turns to Ibn Umar and mentions something that Abu Huraira, the famous companion, had heard on behalf of the Prophet ﷺ. But before even reacting to that statement, Ibn Umar turns to Khabbab and tells him to go to Aisha radiallahu anha to confirm what Abu Huraira had heard. And only until Khabbab returned with the confirmation of his statement from Aisha radiallahu anha did Ibn Umar accept the authenticity of this particular narration. Now, the point in citing these examples is not to elaborate on how or why these other companions' proof was weaker or whatnot, but it's a clear demonstration of the two characteristics that I wanted to highlight today. As I mentioned earlier, both her scholarship and her confidence. She knew the facts in and out, and besides the fact that she narrated over 2,000 hadith, she was very much involved as a scholar in various other fields, including law and theology. And what I really love and admire about this woman, radiallahu anha, is that if she didn't know something, she would look into it and made sure she knew it. And once she knew it, she made sure that the truth was upheld from that piece of information. And no person or man or leader or whoever could stand in her way if she knew she had the evidence on her side. At the end of the day, she wasn't concerned about what people thought about her and her character that was at times sharp and fiery. Her sole aim was to ensure that the truth was never threatened. She spoke up at times when she was the only voice who held a certain opinion. She spoke up when the majority of the scholars disagreed with her. And not only did she always speak up, but she spoke despite societal pressure, and she spoke with confidence. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us the strength to speak up for the truth in every situation. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us the wisdom, the knowledge, and the confidence of our mother Aisha radiallahu anha. Ameen. Jazakumullahu khairan. I hope you benefited from this short reminder, and tune in for the next female figure soon, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.